Hello viewers, welcome to the video lecture series for the job role Hand Embroiderer Class 9. In this video, we will cover the topics safety, maintenance and organizational hazards. This is the part A of the session 1 and in this part, we will take up organizational hazards. Tools, equipment and machinery are an integral part of all industries and factories. These machineries and equipment have reduced the workload and made production faster. But there is also a great risk involved while operating them. There is always a risk of hazard while operating any machine or any equipment. These hazards may result in injuries, loss of life, loss of organ, etc. Hence, workers should be given adequate training before they work on machines. They should be very careful and vigilant while operating machines. Routine safety check and maintenance should also be followed to avoid accidents and hazards. Hazards of any kind are undesirable because they interrupt the production cycle, resulting in financial loss to the organization. They may also pose severe threat to the well-being of the employees and workers. Let us now look at various potential hazards. These can be physical hazards, biological hazards, psychosocial hazards, fire hazards and electrical hazards. Let's first talk about physical hazards. Physical hazards are caused due to physical contact and include hazards such as hearing loss, accidents and falls. In severe cases, physical hazards may result in loss of life too. They are very common in some industries like mining, construction, etc. Working in embroidery units or workshops is also related with physical hazards like eye problems, backbone problems, chest infection and allergies due to dust, fibers, etc. Occupational hearing loss, backache, loss of vision, stress are also examples of physical hazards. How can we prevent these? How can we prevent physical hazards? Simply by providing safety kits and personal protective equipment to employees, regular maintenance of equipments, reducing noises and vibrations present at the workplace, and provision of proper ventilation and air conditioning. Now let us talk about fire hazards. Fire hazards are very common in industries. They are especially prevalent in industries which work with flammable material like textile and apparel industries, paint industries, etc. They may also take place due to short circuit or excessive heat generated by the machines. Fire hazards may also occur because of improper maintenance of fire exits and fire extinguishers or lack or absence of emergency exits. Thus, every industry should have proper layout with clearly marked emergency exits, efficient and effective fire extinguishing equipment. Mock fire drills should also be conducted routinely in all organizations. Mock fire drills are a method practicing the evacuation of premises or building during fire outbreak or short circuit. Let us now look at biological hazards. Biological hazards take place due to contagious bacteria, viruses, fungi or due to organic matter produced by these organisms. A biological safety hazard is a substance produced by an organism that may pose a threat to human health. Some examples of biological hazards are mold and fungi, blood and body fluids, sewage, airborne pathogens such as the common cold, stinging insects, harmful plants, animal and bird dropping. Healthcare workers, veterinary workers especially are at high risk of contracting biological hazards. These type of hazards take place due to poor ventilation, inadequate sunlight, unhygienic conditions, lack of sanitation, poorly maintained washrooms, etc. How can we prevent biological hazards? These can be prevented by ensuring adequate ventilation and sunlight, proper cleanliness and maintenance of the premises, provision of sick leave to workers suffering from contagious diseases, clean and sanitized facilities, clean and hygienic washrooms, kitchen, etc. Psychosocial hazards. As the name suggests, psychosocial hazards mean hazards associated with mental health, psychological state, and emotions of the employees. These may take place due to poor HR policies, long working hours, frustration due to lack of motivation or poor salary, inadequate leave or inadequate holidays, overtime, etc. Poor work-life balance, workplace harassment are some of the other reasons of psychosocial hazards. Coming to prevention from psychosocial hazards, these can be controlled by providing recreational facilities to employees, music therapy, provision of counseling for stressed employees, adequate leave and compensation, etc. Now let us look at electrical hazards. Electric shock, heating are all examples of electrical hazards. These are very common in textile and apparel industries. Faulty power supply, loose connections, overloading of equipment, wet surfaces are some of the common causes of electrical hazards. These can be prevented by only competent and experienced people should be allowed to do the electrical jobs. Employees should not be allowed to work on live equipment. Isolation and multi-lock system should be followed in the industries. Wet cloth or wet material should not be kept near or on the electrical equipment. Appropriate protective personal equipment should be used while working on electrical equipment, whether big or small. Coming again to the prevention by electrical hazards, handling of all electrical equipment or switchgear shall not be done with wet hand or body. That's all for part A of session 1. In part B, we will cover hazards in an embroidery unit and safety measures. Thank you.